Welcome to Scholastic Support Saturdays with your host, author April Gabriellé.
So joining me today to launch Scholastic Support Saturday, I have Thelma Chavez. She's a STEM advisor from San Diego State University, and there's a three-parter here. So you'll hear Thelma as she interviews or has an advisory meeting with a student, Elena Arroyo. She's a physics major, and I think she's in her second year as a physics major. It's very exciting to hear, and so you can learn and see what's expected of you as a STEM student. And just in case you don't know what STEM is, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, any of those careers. But we're going to talk about that as well. And then you're going to hear a one-on-one between Thelma and I, engaging in conversation about students in the field of STEM. And we're going to talk about my own son and my daughter as well, right? Because my son is now a PhD candidate in biomedical sciences, and my daughter also is a candidate Bachelor's of Science as well. Both of them are studying cellular molecular biology way beyond what I could ever do for myself. I could barely get past algebra. And you'll find out why and how I was effective with that as well. So the bottom line is just remember to delegate the next leader. And if you have any questions on these videos or any comments, feel free and share them with everyone you know. But feel free to contact me, and I'll leave the information for everyone that I'm going to be interviewing. I think you're going to be so excited about what's to come ahead. So thank you so much for coming on board with me today, and thank you for being interested in your child's education in your future. And listen, what's really good about this is you'll hear some quality tips, even if your children are not in STEM, if they're not even interested in that area. But there are some quality life skills and tips that are going to be involved in these videos. So continue to stay with me, and I look forward to seeing you every Saturday on Scholastic Support Saturday. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Elena, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, it's good to see you. How are you feeling at the end of the semester?
I'm feeling really well.
Yeah,
Yes.
finals couple days.
They are,
Yeah.
yes. I'm
Are you
excited about
Are you
them.
ready?
I am.
All
Yes.
right. So I have your pre-scheduling form here, and it
Okay.
looks like you're doing pretty well. Oh, math 342A.
Yes.
Wow. I know in the beginning that was kind of rough.
Yeah.
So what did you do to get the better grade, to improve in class? What do you think it was?
I think going to office hours more often and studying with other people in the class. Really
So
helped.
you were forming study groups
I was.
with other students in the
Yes.
class? Oh. Are you doing that in some of your other classes, or is just
I
that
am.
one?
I am.
Great. All right. And so next semester you're planning on taking 342B and physics 350. Wow, a tough schedule. How do you think that one's going to go, especially balancing with research?
I think it's going to be tough, but if I manage my time correctly, it'll definitely be doable.
Okay. And about how many hours a week of research do you think you're going to do in the lab?
About 15 or 20. Yeah.
Okay. No more than 20.
No more than 20. No.
Okay.
Yes.
You always 15's a better.
Okay.
You know, and then you can always increase it if you think you can handle more, or the weeks that you're preparing for a presentation.
Yes.
But really 20 hours a week, especially being a physics major, it's a really tough major that you want to have the best grades because you're planning on graduate school.
I am.
Right.
Yes.
So good. All right. And let's see. I see you're active in the student organization.
I am.
Two
of them. Yes.
Okay. Do you feel two's a good balance, being in two, or you focus on one?
I think two's a good balance.
What is it you think you get from both of them that's helping you?
From the Society of Physics, I'm able to interact with other physics majors, and it really helps to know how they're doing in their classes, how they feel about being physics majors here at San Diego State. And from SOCNAS, it's more of a getting involved in research and being part of a minority group here at San Diego State.
Oh, so forming the community of
Yes.
the students similar to you. That's good. And I know we spoke about you're about to go to a conference and your first presentation.
I am, yes, at the end of February.
At the end of February. And where is it at?
It's in LA,
Oh, okay. And it's biophysics? Or?
Biophysical Society. Yes,
So you're doing a poster or oral?
it's a poster.
Your first poster.
Yes.
Is your mentor supporting you, like going to go over, practice the poster presentation with you?
Yes.
And you're doing it alongside a graduate student or another undergrad?
I'm doing it alongside her, actually.
Oh, your mentor?
Yes.
Wow, that's great. Very few
Yes.
mentors do that. Yeah, it sounds like you have a really supportive mentor.
I do, yes.
Great. Let's see, so we talked about research. So, summer research programs. Are you going to apply to ones outside of San Diego, or are you going to stay here and continue to work with Dr.?
I want to apply to ones outside of San Diego, and Dr. Valjean is encouraging me to apply to them outside of San
Do
Diego.
you have a few that you're looking at specifically, or you?
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You might want to look at schools, like if you know where you want to end up at graduate school, to see if they have a summer program, because then you make a connection with a mentor at a school you want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have a letter of rec. So say on your list is, I don't know, Stanford.
Yeah.
If you do a summer program there with a mentor, they can say, oh, yeah, Elena is, just top notch alongside my same students here at Stanford, so that they can correlate it with and be a strong letter of recommendation.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So summer research, academic research. Do you have any questions?
No. Not that I can think of at the moment.
What about, so what are you going to do over winter break then? You have about 6 weeks off.
Yes. I'll be here.
Okay.
I'm trying to prepare for the presentation.
Okay. And then printing your poster, right? So
Yes.
I talked to you about that. As long
Yes.
as I have it about 3 days advance, we can print it for you.
Okay.
All right. And you're working on the travel form?
Yes, I am.
Travel scholarship?
Yes.
Great. And now correct me, you're being funded by your mentor to do research, or it's just $4.99 units?
It's just $4.99 units.
Okay. And next semester, you're going to apply to the LSAMP
I am.
research scholarship?
Yes, I am. Yes.
You know what? I think I'm also going to forward you an email. LSAMP has a conference. It's called the Emerging Researchers, ERN STEM. It's like the
Okay.
Emergency Researchers Network in STEM.
Mhm.
And it's all the NSF funded projects.
Okay.
And it's a conference that's every year in DC. And if you're accepted, your abstract is accepted, LSAP, they pay for your hotel, your airfare, all your funding.
Okay.
And it's a national conference, so you get to network with a lot of different universities, even industry, things like that. So it's a really beneficial conference to go to. We usually have one student from state
Mhm.
attend and be accepted. One year we did have two,
Okay.
but that was the first year. Since then, we only had one. But I think it'd be great for you to apply out. The only thing is, I think it's also in February.
Okay.
It might conflict with your other one. I'll send you the email
Okay,
though.
yeah.
And they do it every year, so if not this year, something to,
Look forward to.
yes.
Yeah.
Are you also planning on presenting at SRS?
I am. Yes.
Busy. So you're putting all these on your CV, correct?
Yes. Yes,
So
I am.
I always try to remind students it's important to do it, to add it as you go, because if you
Okay.
try and go back and you're like, oh, when did I do this? But soon as like my abstract's accepted, so let me put it on there.
Okay.
And put the SRS, even if you don't have like the title and information, put it as a starting point, and then you can add the rest.
Okay.
Your student organization participation's already on there, right?
Yes.
Especially you're an officer in one of them.
Yes.
Okay. Because when you do apply for summer research in grad school, these are the things that'll help you stand out from other
Okay.
students. Yeah, great. Side question really for me, just because it's physics. In your physics cohort and your major, how many you think of the students there are female?
Very few.
Yeah. Less than half?
Less than half.
Mhm.
Yeah. About maybe a third.
How does that affect how well you do? Does it push you harder?
I think it pushes
Yeah.
me harder because I want to just do better than all the other boys in the class.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
It's definitely motivation.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. What you're doing with Dr. Nickerson, speaking to
Oh.
the freshmen in the math class about
Yes.
encouraging them. How's that going?
It's doing really well. We just finished our second round of presentations last week, and we talked about phages, which is something that most of us were familiar with
Oh.
because a lot of us are working with phages, so it was really exciting.
So you spoke about that to the students in the class?
We did, yes,
Oh.
because we talked about how math and biology work together
Oh,
and how
okay.
phages are a real-world math application where they can use their math skills that they learn in 150, 151 in the real world.
Oh my goodness. So you're going in the 150 class?
Yes.
About how many students are in the class that you talk to, or is it in the discussion session?
It's in the discussion
Mhm.
session, so usually about 30 students, sometimes 25.
And of that, you see how many of those are females?
Less than half sometimes, yeah.
I know recently a student came in, I think they spoke to my colleague Brittany, talking about how they heard you speak in the class.
Really?
Yes, and they said to see another woman or a female doing well, and that you're a physics major.
Yeah.
She just wants to get her math done and be done with it, you know.
Yeah.
But that you're excelling in it really encouraged her so that she could do it. Because it's always like when you see someone who looks like you or
Yeah.
in your same situation, doing well, that you can do it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another Diana.
Diana's in there. Teresa's in there as well.
Oh, okay. Do you guys all go in and speak at the same time or on different days?
Different days, we go to different discussion sections.
Wow. And are you able also to share with them, I know you're talking about your research, but the other opportunities or the resources that you're able to access as a science major in math, like workshops or?
Yes, so during the first round of presentations, we introduced ourselves just to make ourselves more familiar with them.
Okay.
And so I mentioned that I was part of MESA and LSAMP and that they were like great resources available to students.
Yay.
Yes.
You can always tell them to come to this office and speak to me if they're interested in learning about it more.
This is author April Gabriellé. We're part of Scholastic Support Saturdays, and I have Elena here with me and Thelma. Thelma is, can you introduce yourself, Thelma?
Yeah.
Sorry. Introduce yourself.
Okay. All right, sorry. So, good afternoon. I'm Thelma Chavez, and I am the program coordinator for student research and support programs here in the College of Sciences at San Diego State. Those include the Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation Program, which is nationwide, the Maximizing Access to Research Careers, funded by the National Institutes of Health, and the MESA program, which is Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement. And with all those, the goal of those is to get students from when they come to state to graduation and to what they want to do at graduation.
Okay, and then here we have Elena. She has agreed to speak to you and speak to some of the parents and the students that are interested in science and the sciences. And a lot of you know that I have affinity for sciences because my son and my daughter are in that field, and it didn't come easy for them. So my goal for Scholastic Support Saturday is for you parents to help you empower your students. And then maybe there are students that don't have resources and help, but this is like a guide. And so we have Elena, who's actually a student here right now, and she's going to be able to give you enough information to tell you how she went along her pathway. And then Thelma, I'm going to talk to Thelma, and we're just going to have a good old conversation. So if you have questions, you can always call her.
Definitely.
Okay, so Elena, write your name down. Is this your name? Okay,
Yes,
so I heard your story talking to Thelma. Very interesting. I like the part when you spoke about being sometimes the only female. And I remember one time I took my daughter to a program at UCSD. It was engineering for girls or something like that, right? Now she was 14 at the time, and I think 14 or 15. But when she went, they actually told her she was too old to go be a part of the program. But they let her go that Saturday. It's like a Saturday program. There's a little joke behind this though. This is for parents too. My daughter kept saying, "I don't want to go. I don't need to go. I don't want to go." I said, "You don't know what you don't know. So you don't know that you don't need to go, right?" So she goes, and when she goes, she participated in all the programs and the workshops. She ended up making one of those little solar cars, and she loved it.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, she says, this is what she does when she knows I'm right about something, and she didn't listen to me the first time. She'll say stuff like, she says, "I told you I should have went.
Oh.
I told you I should have went to this event."
You're like, okay.
Yeah, I told you I should have went. But one thing that I think disturbed me a little bit, just a little bit, is that there were some parents, there were a lot of girls there who wanted to specialize in engineering, physics, and all those projects that are mainly men-oriented, right, male-oriented. And a lot of them sent their children to private schools, female only, because they felt their daughters could not compete with the male students. This is all I kept hearing from parents and also from some of the presenters. They felt as though it affected their daughter's self-esteem if they had to be in class with boys that may be more highly accelerated. And my daughter said, no, me and my friends, male and female, we challenge each other. And I kept saying, that's not the real world, though. And I don't think we're preparing them for the real world, right? The real world doesn't say you're going to work with only women.
No, not at all. Even in college, they have to, when they work in teams, if they choose engineering, it's teams of men and women, and they may be the only female in the group of men on that team working on a project. So they have to become from, and make them their community. Work with them like they're anybody, anybody else, male or female.
That's true.
You can work with the team. Yeah.
So how are you raised and reared in your home? First of all, to make you you're interested in physics, and that is pretty deep. So you're interested in physics, and then again, being a female, and you spoke of some of the challenges. I'm glad you kept asking her how many females were in the pro. 2016, we're still struggling with this some. So tell me about your upbringing and what gave you the confidence.
Well, I was raised in a Chicana household, so very stubborn. My mom she would not take no for an answer sometimes, and my dad was also very determined to help us succeed and everything. So they just encouraged me and my siblings to pursue our interest, whatever they may be, and I chose science. I became interested in science around the 3rd grade. I wanted to study volcanoes then. It's changed a bit now. I want to do physics now, but my parents are still encouraging me very much. They support me all the time. And
Did you go to school here in San Diego County?
I did.
What school did you? Do you want to put them on blast? You want to name that? What school did you go to?
That's a good story. That's how I met Elena. She went to school with my daughter.
What school? Patrick Henry. Oh, you did.
They played lacrosse together.
Okay. So do you feel as though Patrick Henry prepared you, or did Thelma prepare you?
I think.
Right?
Patrick Henry, because that's an advantage. I mean, right? To have someone's parent. Ooh. I mean, did they prepare you for this, you think?
I think they did. I had a great counselor who also encouraged me a lot to pursue physics, especially. She always said, oh, well, you did really well in physics. You should really think of pursuing that, even when I was very much worried of going to physics, because whenever I told people that I was interested in physics, it was like, oh, but that's a tough major. Why don't you want to do that? So, but having a counselor who was also Latina helped me a lot.
That's good.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what you were saying earlier to her, right?
Yes.
You were saying it's good because you have a student now who's looking at you and saying, wow, somebody looks like me, acts like me. And that's why I keep telling Philip, my son, I keep saying, you need to go back to the schools and show some of these little African-American black boys and the Latino boys, you need to show them that, yes, men of color can do this. And you need to tell them, he struggled in math horribly when he was in high school. People don't believe this, but he did. But it was the effort that he put forth. He actually would stay in his teacher's class at lunchtime. He didn't go to lunch. He'd stay in the class with the teacher till he got it. You know, and when he was a little boy, I talk about this in the book, I don't know if Thelma knows it, but when he was a little boy, probably like 8, 9, he too was interested at that age, right? He was interested, first as a micro, I think, no, was it micro, it was biology, it was, what's it called, oceanography and all that, right? That was his first interest. But I brought him here to the campus, and when he was in 3rd grade, and I let him, because I remember going to college, and I remember coming here in high school being scared, right? I don't know why, but I was scared to come to San Diego State. Right? So, right, it was, right? And so with him, I took him to one of the engineering, the classroom, the huge 500-seat classrooms, whatever. And that time, there was a professor in the class, right? Nobody was really here at the campus, and he was writing on the board. And I said, can I talk to you for a minute? And he talked to my son. And I said, he struggles with math. And the professor said, listen, son, just one step at a time. That's all math is. You learn that step, you go to the next step, and you learn the next step.
Yes.
Don't try to put anything else in addition to it, right? And he was able to see the huge 500-seat classroom and sit there like a little boy sitting there.
That's a great photo.
Yeah, I know, you're right, right. And then something else I did, I actually looked online for an African-American biologist, marine biologist, all the way in Florida. I wish I could remember his name to this day. I found him and called him, and I put Philip on the phone with him, and he talked to him. So you see, that is so important. I'm so proud to hear your story, and I think that, and it's not about excluding anyone.
No.
It's not about exclusion, right? It's just about, again, trying to empower those who think they can't. And I think it's good. I love your story. I really do. And that's why I'm glad Thelma let you come in here. I said, Thelma, give me a student.
Yeah.
I need a real student.
Yes.
What year are you in?
I am a junior.
You're a junior. Okay.
Yes.
So you have, she got two more years?
I have-
Three, 2 or 3?
2 more years after this.
And then what's your goal?
Graduate school.
And then what?
And then research in a
Okay.
national lab.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's so cool. That's cool. So what's the guy's name? That's real famous today, physics. Come on.
Oh, the astrophysics guy,
Yeah,
Neil
yes,
deGrasse.
Neil deGrasse. Yeah. Now, do you listen to his stuff and
I
follow
do.
him? I have no choice with my son
Yeah.
next to me.
But
So-
he makes science
Huh?
exciting
He
and interesting
does.
and not boring.
He really
So
does.
It makes you want to know more.
He
That's
does.
important.
And I want my daughter to see this as well. Now, my daughter is fluently bilingual, so she took Spanish when she was a little girl, right? She was at a school that taught 95% Spanish. It's CVLCC in Chula Vista. I'll also
Oh,
interview
okay.
those counselors
Oh.
and that principal. But she too needs to hear this. They're both like me in a way that they're critically self-motivated,
Yes.
but they're self-critical as well.
Mhm.
So if she doesn't perform well in certain things, she starts crying.
Oh.
Yeah, she'll
Yeah.
cry about it. And I'll say, we'll get through this.
Yes.
And thank God she has a brother that's at a different level, right? Because he'll say, why are you crying? Right? Because she wants the best of herself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's important. So now what about your friends? Did you have friends that came from high school that came here as well? And
I did. I had quite a few. Some were physics majors. I have a friend who's graduating this year with a biology degree.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think this has been a good
Yeah.
experience. I'm going to interview Thelma now, but I appreciate you coming. I really do.
Ricky Martin, if you're seeing this.